Hi there everyone, Rob here with today's Saola and Damrey update. Lots of other stuff actually going on across the Western Pacific here, including several areas here just towards the east of Saola. We are continuing to watch, plus severe storms erupting across Hokkaido and across northeastern over towards North Korea, seeing storms there. But the main topic of today, obviously, is this one. Our Typhoon Saola now is pushing off towards the north and creating some havoc still across the Philippines, where you have seen upwards of, sadly, 8 reports of deaths at this time. Not to mention the fact that there's still 3 injuries due to the landslide down here, and numerous people actually had to be rescued over the past several days due to several circumstances, most of them involving boats capsizing across much of the southern portions of Luzon here. And still today, the enhancement of the southwest monsoon pulling in from the north, you're still getting very strong inflow coming across the northwestern portions of Luzon, resulting in some very heavy rainfall totals, some adding up to about 100 to 150 millimeters in the past 24 hours. So you're still seeing that risk of flash flooding and also landslides across much of this region, but also over towards Taiwan. Take a look at some of these rain totals, and this is adding up into the past 2 hours. Over 300 millimeters has been recorded here just towards the south of Taipei, but also along much of the eastern coast. You're seeing totals up above 100 millimeters, and this is mainly due to that mountain range we've been talking about here in the central portions of Taiwan. All that rainfall comes pushing onshore, and it hits these mountains and really just gets squeezed out like a sponge. It's going to be resulting in some dangerous flooding conditions, especially in a lot of these low-lying areas. I do know that our videographer James Reynolds, or he's our partner here, who has websites typhoonferry.com. Please do go check it out. But he is currently in Taipei, expecting to remain along the northwestern coast of Taiwan here, where a lot of this heavy rainfall is going to be taking place. But also, it does look like the track is currently taking the storm, just clipping the northern coast. And if we go back to that satellite image and then overlay the forecasted track here, you can see that it is moving off towards the north, just along the east coast of Taiwan. You're still going to be seeing lots of heavy rainfall pushing onshore from this storm system as it continues to track in that direction. And at least look at the water vapor imagery and the abundant amount of moisture in the atmosphere to allow for yet further flooding. And also across some northern portions of Luzon here, you can see a lot of that banding pushing onshore. It's also going to be kicking up those waves as well. You could be seeing up to about 6-meter high waves. So lots of rough weather to go around. The storm system is continuing to gain in intensity, though. We are seeing a very weak eye wall form up yet again. It was actually downgraded to a tropical storm by J2WC here, but then it was re-upgraded back up to a typhoon once it started to regain its intensity. But this is the official current track from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. It's not an official track by any means, so that would be GMA's track as shown here, and they do have the pressure currently at 970 HP. I haven't noticed in the past, once it gets below that, they do upgrade the storm to typhoon. So the rain at the threshold, I would expect them to upgrade it within the next several hours. I did say that yesterday, but it did get a little bit disorganized throughout the day today, but it's once again starting to regain that organization. They're also expecting it to clip the northern coast of Taiwan here, putting Taipei into the left front quadrant. But once again, remember that all that moisture is still going to be pumping onshore, so there's that very high risk of flash flooding across much of this area. But it does look like some of the southern Japanese islands, all the way down on the western portions of the chain here, that's where you're going to be seeing that highest risk of the right front quadrant, the highest wind gusts, upwards about 80 to 90, even 100 knots. Wind gusts could be recorded in some of these southern islands, so definitely a very dangerous situation for anybody that is out on these islands and is currently watching this up. And if we take a look at JMA's radar currently, you can see actually some of these outer rain bands already moving across the southern Japanese islands with that center of circulation down there towards the south. But see this band right here? This is actually coming off of Damrey, which is farther out here towards the east, right about in this area. And it does have some of these outer rain bands basically circulating around this storm system, and a lot of it's already pushing onshore. Saw a big shot hitting Shikoku and around the Key Peninsula earlier on today. And then see this storm system up here, this is separate, but there's even the threat of tornadic activity in this one. We've actually seen tornado level 1 and even 2 earlier on today as some of these storms continue to blow up. So definitely watching that system moving across Hokkaido, even though it is unrelated to tropical activity. Now, another factor allowing Saola or a Hunter out here to continue to increase in intensity is this abundant amount of moisture inflow coming across the South China Sea. You can see these bands actually fairly clearly on this microwave imagery and pulling it all the way from the equatorial regions. On the other hand, Damrey, it is remaining rather disorganized and very weak at this time. It's because it doesn't have that abundant amount of moisture. It actually has a lot of dry air currently circulating into it, as you can see here. Some moisture coming in out of the Marianas region, but for the most part, the storm system is not seeing that rapid intensification that you are seeing with Saola. Now, on the other hand, though, it is fairly strong, fairly small, though. Don't expect a big rain situation out of this as it continues to quickly rush off there towards the... And I mean absolutely blazingly fast here. It's moving west currently at 30 kilometers per hour. That's fairly fast for a tropical system. Current winds are at 55 knots with a gust up to 80 knots, so about 10 knots shy of becoming a typhoon. I don't really think it should become a typhoon as it continues to rush in that westerly direction, but it will be bringing some gusty winds off towards the southern portions of Kyushu, even around the Amani Islands, before it continues to blow past Japan. And then off around Jeju-do, you could be feeling some of the effects of this even before moving off towards South Korea. So definitely a very fast-moving system, but it's going to be bringing some very gusty winds as it continues to track on this westerly track. But if we go back to that entire Western Pacific satellite picture, you can see that as compared to the other tropical systems out here, this thing is fairly small. It does not have these high cloud tops. It's actually somewhat exposed in the center. At that note, not really going to be a big rainmaker, but nonetheless, it is going to bring some gusty winds and definitely could bring some short-time heavy showers, resulting in some very short-time flooding, if possible, before all those rivers continue to run off. So we're still going to watch this system, and obviously Saola here, and then in some of the long-term model outlooks, you have some other things popping up here. Let's take a look at GFS real quick and just show you what I'm talking about. Because due to all the abundant amount of storm systems currently out there and all the abundant amount of moisture, models are actually getting a little haywire in through the long range. Now let's look at the initiation here. We have Saola just towards the east of Taiwan, and then Damrey just down there towards the south of Japan. You watch Damrey basically very quickly push up there towards the west. Saola kind of sucks it up. I do think that's a very likely scenario as it moves into the East China Sea. But then look at this area is spinning up off of that big outflow band coming out of Saola, and then that actually starts to pull and move towards the left as well as it continues to linger there. And look at the long range, it becomes a very expansive and large system before shooting off towards the northeast. So lots going on out here. This could happen in this exact scenario, or actually could develop into a different scenario that could push off there towards the west. It all depends on the dynamics over the next several days. So definitely going to be watching that area very closely as we continue to watch all the rest of these areas. Western Pacific is actually just basically kind of on fire at this time as far as tropical activity. And also on one more note, if you remember this video I shot just a few days ago, this was of a tropical disturbance, a circular low pressure area that blew across Manila on Sunday afternoon into evening. We are continuing to post or work on a new update for this area here at westernpacificweather.com. We're going to have it out within the next 48 to 72 hours. It's going to be a complete analysis from our point of view on this tropical system. At this time, it's actually being coined a mesocyclone by a few agencies, or mainly Bigasa here. That's not the technical term for a mesocyclone. Mesocyclone actually is more of a thunderstorm, and an exact thunderstorm, more of a... Actually, here's a photo of what a mesocyclone kind of looks like. Definitely going to really work hard on this and try to clear up exactly what the system was, what caused it, and why did it hit so rapidly. So continue to watch out for that. But that is all for right now, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please post them in the comment box below. We always appreciate your feedback. And also, if you don't mind, it'd be nice if you hit the like button as well. It definitely helps to share this information out to more people out here in the Western Pacific and across the entire world as well. So stay safe out there, though. Have a great day.